A few weeks ago, a Sprint client told me something that stopped me in my tracks. She said she'd been putting off setting up automations in her business because they felt impersonal. And honestly, I get it. If you've ever gotten one of those obviously automated emails, the ones that feel like they were written by a robot for absolutely no one in particular, it makes total sense that you'd want to steer clear of that in your own business. Hi, I'm Jackie, also known as the Honeybook Harmonizer. In this video, we'll look at why so many service providers avoid automating their booking process because they're afraid it'll cost them the personal connection with their clients, and why that fear, while completely understandable, might actually be costing them more than it's protecting. Here's what avoidance tends to look like. You've seen those Instagram profiles, especially with photographers that say something like DM me to book. No inquiry form, no link, just a direct message. And on the surface, that feels personal. It feels like you're building a relationship from the very first touch point. But walk through what's actually happening behind that DM. A lead reaches out, and now you have to catch it, hopefully before you forget or it gets buried under 50 other notifications. Then you're manually sending over a scheduling link, or worse, going back and forth trying to find a time that works. After the call, you're manually drafting a contract and then sending the invoice and manually following up if they go quiet. Every single step depends on you remembering to do it and having the time to do it. And that's the part that's easy to miss. Staying fully manual to protect the relationship means you're spending your limited energy on logistics, chasing replies, tracking who's where, remembering what you already sent. That's energy that isn't going toward the parts of the process that actually build connection. The discovery call itself, the way you talk about your work, a follow-up that genuinely sounds like you. The reason this fear feels so real is that most of us have only experienced one version of automation, the generic version. Impersonal templates, robotic sounding sequences, emails that clearly went out on a list to 1,000 people. If that's the only kind of automation you've seen, it makes sense to assume that that's the only kind available. You haven't seen what it looks like when an automation is built around your voice instead of a generic template. So here's a different way to look at it. For every touch point in your booking process, ask yourself one question. Does this need to sound like me, or does it just need to happen? A scheduling link doesn't need to sound like you, it just needs to work. A contract doesn't need your personality in it, it needs to be accurate and sent on time. An invoice reminder doesn't need warmth, it needs to show up before the due date. But your discovery call, the way you describe your process, a personal note after someone books, those are the moments that actually carry your voice, and those are worth protecting. When you separate what needs to be personal from what just needs to happen, automation stops being the enemy of connection. It becomes the thing that protects your energy for the parts of your business that actually need it. If you're not sure which parts of your process fall into which category, that's what we map out in a system strategy session. In 60 minutes, we'll look at your current inquiry to booking process, figure out what's quietly draining your time, and build a plan for what to automate and what to keep personal. You'll walk away with a recording and a clear action plan. Link is in the description below. Automation doesn't have to mean losing the personal touch. When you're ready to build a system that protects both your time and your relationships, I'll be here to map it out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.